Yuji and Choso are brothers just like Yuji and Todo. Nope, quite the opposite in fact. Let's break all of this down. Before we get into that, if you're a fan of Jujutsu Kaisen and strange dark stories, I upload about a week or so now. So if that interests you, hit that subscribe. So let's get into it. Yuji and Todo are very obviously not brothers by blood. At least they do, however, share a spiritual bond, mostly shown by Todo. Yuji, of course, being mostly reciprocal, although being overwhelmed at times. Todo is not all there in the head, to say the least. As you know, he is maxed out on his bronze stat for sure, and his charm stat, at least to me. Todo ended up becoming brothers spiritually with Yuji after being the only one to answer his famous question. His famous question, of course, being what type of woman he prefers. Him answering with tall and a big ass, just like Todo, thus forming their brothership bond. Side note, I do feel it is a little odd that they reference Jennifer Lawrence. Jennifer Lawrence isn't tall, at least to me. She's 5'9". Just as a little reference to compare that, Lady Dimitrescu is 9 feet and 6 feet inches. So she's really tall in comparison. That's somebody I'd say is tall with everything. Whereas Jennifer Lawrence is only 5'9". and isn't really packing in the glutes to me. So it was a little odd to see a little different perspective. After Yuji answered his question, connected to him, thus giving him a false memory of an event that never even occurred. But it did to Todo, which he honestly believed to be the truth. The memory was of Yuji comforting Todo after he was rejected by Takada. From then on, in Todo's mind, he's always been best friends and brothers with Yuji, and believes that no one could beat him in their hometown. That sums up Yuji and Todo. However, not the most important part of this video, Choso. Yuji and by extension Etsu and Kenshitsu. This of course being a major spoiler, so while obvious, I did want to remind you. What I am going over will be spoiled, and you most likely won't know from the anime even in this next season upcoming. So there's your warning. Short answer, all 4 of Choso, Yuji, Etsu, and Kenshitsu are brothers. Indeed related by blood, and this time not spiritually. Sorry Todo. The 4 of them sharing the same dad or mom, it's hard to explain, and more open to interpretation. However, I'll just say, their same dad being the main villain besides Sukuna is Kenjaku, the one who is in control of the corpse of Segura Ghetto. As you know, Kenjaku is a brain now. However, he was formerly a man, and using his special ability, he takes over bodies and gains their abilities. As explained in the anime, he was in control of Noritoshi, Kamo, when he created the 3 cursed womb paintings, thus passing on his genes to the 3, Choso, Etsu, and Kenshitsu. Naturally being apparent to them, many years later he did a similar thing with Yuji, inhabiting Yuji's mom, then getting tossed around the bedroom by Yuji's dad. He got pregnant, naturally, and gave birth to Yuji, passing his genes on as his mom. There being the way Yuji is related to Etsu, Choso, Kenshitsu, and not Todo, sadly. You could kind of see why I said it was kind of hard to say they have the same dad, mom. You could just say they're related because of Kenjaku. Kenjaku's their parent, equally. The anime does give a lot of hints, and while it is not outright telling you, Yuji feels pain when attacking his 2 other brothers, Etsu and Kenshitsu, even though he straight KO'd them. Also, you can see in the anime, Choso has visions of all brothers eating at a table and being happy. Yuji being the baby brother being born the last, although he does not contain any blood powers like his 3 brothers. That being because Kenjaku does not control Noritoshi at the time he had Yuji, therefore not passing on his hereditary blood powers on that body. Noritoshi being part of the Kamo blood family, like the new Noritoshi Kamo heir, they have the ability to use blood, which gives the 3, Choso, Kenshitsu, and Etsu, blood powers. It is a little confusing, but there's 2 Noritoshi Kamos. There's one from the past, and the newest heir that's part of the senior class in Jujutsu Kaisen. They have the same name. It can be a little confusing. Obviously, when you watch the anime, you can see their faces, but when I'm naming them, it's a little different. So now you know that they have the same name and are related, the youngest being a descendant naturally of the same family. Now let's go over what separates the 3 brothers, Choso, Etsu, and Kenshitsu, starting with Choso. As a death painting, Choso is a special grade. While still existing as a cursed object, Choso was still self-aware, allowing him to hone his curse techniques for 150 years. By the time he came to life, Choso had already mastered blood manipulation to a level that far surpasses the current Noritoshi camo, using his blood power for hardening to create armor and weapons. As long as he has enough curse energy, he can prevent his body from dying of blood loss. This makes him capable of bleeding insane amounts. Like I said, there's two Noritoshis. There's the current version and the one of the past that Kenjaku took over. A little confusing, I know. Now, the other two powers that of Eso and Kenshitsu. Etsu's technique is the rot technique, similar to his other brothers. It is a corrosive blood that can poison and decompose his enemies. He also has the ability to reshape and manipulate his blood. He often uses this power to create wings on the back. With Kenshitsu also sharing the same ability of rot technique, his is the same power, but a unique fact of Kenshitsu is that in the fan book it is stated that his vessel's upper face remains because of the power of his cursed object is weaker than that of his brothers, thus making him look more like a cursed spirit than human. So there you have it. Now you know the relation of Yuji and his brothers. My next video will be about Yuta. Unless you would prefer something else, let me know in the comments and your thoughts about this, or if I missed anything important that you feel was left out. Other than that, see you next time.